Welcome everybody. Thanks for sticking around in the chat today. Thanks for bringing your questions on. Of course, this is the Friday 12 o'clock chat. If you want to catch, we're streaming 2 times a week, Friday at 12, Monday at 4 o'clock, local times, New Zealand, all of that time. So, Genesis Mining, holy cow, they're back. I'm going to drop that site there. It's probably bloated as heck. The Genesis Mining pre-sale contracts are back. I'm going to get some, but it's a real risky proposition when it comes down to it. Because realistically, that is a 3-month pre-sale. That's crazy. Actually, 3.5-month pre-sale. That's crazy. It's really it's tough. It's tough. Peter McIver, beautiful day on Onaroa. It's tough, you know, like I'm going to get some of those Bitcoin mining contracts because it is becoming a very rare thing to get your hands on, Bitcoin mining contracts. February 28th, 179 bucks a terahash. Still the cheapest in the business for an open-ended Bitcoin mining contract. Hashflare's got it at $1.50 for a terahash, but that's only for a year. So, and of course, Hashflare's put a lot of people off because they basically, you know, changed the terms of their contract in the middle of the night, which really sucked for a lot of people. Hashing 24, for example, they got sold out pretty soon as well. They had a Bitcoin mining contract pre-sales for January selling at about 260 bucks a terahash or something. So that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. I feel like investing in those Bitcoin mining contracts now, it's tough. I'll definitely be happy when I start getting that payout in the future. But still, that's rough. Pre-Tom Roy, Hashflare is running a 10% discount. Oh, that's true. I guess it does bring it down to 135. I should actually look into that. But nevertheless, Crypto Numbnuts, how's it going, man? Further, MGT Capital, if you want to know why Bitcoin mining is going so crazy, why, for example, Genesis Mining can't get their hands on any of these machines, the problem is that there are so many big players coming to the Bitcoin mining space now. We did a video on this a few weeks ago talking about how really it's just going crazy right now with Bitcoin mining. So many big players coming in. That's part of what's affecting the difficulty. So many more people trying to get the exact same amount of Bitcoin. That's pushing the difficulty up. But that being said, companies like MGT, companies like GMO over in Japan, they're at least GMO's bringing in new chips, so that'll at least bring more mining capacity to the market, but of course it'll also push up the difficulty even more. Anyway, it's a tough world out there in Bitcoin mining land. Bitcoin.com should soon be renamed BitcoinCash.com. The guys over at Bitcoin.com are going to be only mining Bitcoin Cash from here on out. So, Backflip Marines with 17 of the 21 million coins already out there. Why is there so much feud over the last 4 million? Backflip Marine, because people are starting to realize that those last 4 million coins are going to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars a piece, if not someday millions of dollars a piece. So, people are really keen to get their hands on them. PewPewTube asks, Lark, Kiwi Man, tell me the future of Komodo and Monets. Oh, crystal ball, what is the future of Komodo and Monets? Look, I think Monets is going to be a good ICO. Mainly because it's going to be a pretty exciting one because it's on the Komodo platform, because it's the first decentralized ICO. And then, of course, you get the payback later on. I think more excitingly than the Monets ICO, though, is Komodo platform itself, which hasn't been getting nearly enough love in the press. I'm liking their new website, by the way. And I think PewPewTube, you were the one who wrote the other day, like, you know, it's not up as much as I want it to be, basically, Komodo. And look, guys, that will happen sometimes. Komodo's up only 14%. Actually, it's taken a bit of a back. You know, it's okay, it's up 14% on the week, but I mean, next to Populous, which is up 91%, or ARK, which is up 52%, you just gotta wonder, WTF market? But that happens. Guys. It's totally unpredictable. I still think Komodo's a great long-term hold, but I think it's already at number 25, but it does have a lot of room to go, especially as more ICOs come to the market on the Komodo platform. So keep an eye out for it, guys. Crypto Numbnuts. I don't have a Bitcoin, but I have 1 Bitcoin Cash. That's all right. That's all right. Bitcoin Cash is going to be a good coin too. It won't be the Bitcoin. Bitcoin keeps the name. Bitcoin Cash with Bitcoin Cash. They'll do what they do separately. What do you think about Stratus? Big Stratus fan, and Stratus has been so cheap recently. Remember, we saw Stratus at about a $600 or $700 million market cap, actually not that long ago. Zoop5, email me that, thecryptolark@gmail.com. Now you look back on Stratus. Now, okay, this is back in June. It's hard to say anything because June was just a crazy, crazy month in crypto land. Stratus was a $1 billion market cap at one point. If we look more recently, you might get a better drawing off of, for example, August, when it was about 600 million. Stratus, big time undervalued. Big time undervalued, guys. So I like Stratus. I think Stratus is great, and they got a lot coming still. So do keep an eye out for them. Now, we got to talk fork. SegWit2x has been canceled. Disco Dan's asking, is that going to be a good thing for the market and for Bitcoin in general? Disco Dan, good thing for the market and a good thing for Bitcoin in general. Yes and yes. I'm going to give a yes and yes on both of those. Why? All this confusion and basically FUD around Bitcoin, because the fact that they weren't going to have replay protection made a lot of people worried, rightfully so. Nobody wants to lose their Bitcoin. And the fact that it really felt like a corporate takeover from a lot of people's perspective was also bad. 2 Bitcoins contending for the same name, bad stuff. It was problematic. If we think, though, that this is the end for Bitcoin, absolutely not. It's a good thing for Bitcoin that this conversation was had. And that's what needs to be remembered in the SegWit2x conversation. These conversations need to happen. Bitcoin does need to be upgraded. Absolutely. And if you don't think Bitcoin needs to be upgraded, just look at the multi-hour transactions and the crazy transaction fees. Look, adding Lightning on will probably fix a lot of the problems with Bitcoin. So that's off-chain transactions that are then coded onto the blockchain later. So it lets faster transactions with much smaller fees. But these conversations need to happen. Bitcoin needs to continue to upgrade. People say Bitcoin can be the world money. Well, if the Bitcoin's ever going to be the world money, it's got a lot of work to do because it is way, way far from being able to even deal with the very small amount of people using that right now. As Mr. Harry Balsonia says, smash that like button, guys. Smash that like button. Noka York 888. Thank you very much for the contribution, my friend. Bitcoin is trending down towards 5,700 in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Interesting. It's really, really hard to predict the price of Bitcoin, guys. We've seen a lot of run-ups and a lot of run-downs. A little bit of money is moving away from Bitcoin currently and obviously hitting into the altcoin markets. You can do some TA on it and think, well, is it going to go down? 6 to 8 weeks is a long time away to make a prediction. That's an exact prediction at that for the price of Bitcoin. But anything can happen in the meantime. Nobody could have predicted the China thing, for example, when that happened, and that pushed Bitcoin down so much. The one thing I could say, if you do see Bitcoin at 5,700 or less, jump in and buy, that is for sure. Jan says, how long is the Genesis mining pre-sale going to be going for? Probably not for very long. Probably not for very long. I would imagine it would sell out within a few days. It sold out within 48 hours last time. So keep an eye out for it. It will sell out pretty quick. Anyone here using MinerGate, says CryptoCrypt. I've seen that MinerGate has Bitcoin mining available as well. Not very transparent, but I guess none of them are very transparent. I know CCG Mining has got some Bitcoin mining contracts up as well. MinerGate will probably be more reputable, that's for sure. You can get Bitcoin mining contracts over on bitcoin.com as well. The thing is that Genesis Mining is the cheapest of all those, but if you have to wait 3.5 months, well, okay, Genesis Mining is not cheaper than Hashflare. Keep that real for a second. It's not cheaper than Hashflare, but it's more reliable than Hashflare. Take it for what you will. Currently with 10% discount over on Hashflare, it's $135 for a terahash for a year. Buy NEO now. Ooh, NEO's coming to a Korean exchange. Wellington coin. Wind power on the blockchain, says Kerry Richards. If you guys don't know about Wellington, New Zealand, Wellington has a reputation for being a very windy place. In fact, even over at our airport, we've got this lovely sign, just like they have over in Hollywood, except we've put a little twist on our sign, just for fun, of course. You guys see a little picture of it there. With so windy, even our sign is being blown away. Windy Wellington. I like to call it Lord Windington. Some days, that is. Okay. Now, look, the interesting thing with SegWit2x, by the way, SegWit2x futures are still trading. How crazy is that? Now, you might think, wait a second. Okay, look at that chart, by the way. Did you guys see this? 1,200, down it goes. That is a pretty big drop. Ouch. Ouch to anyone trading SegWit2x futures. Holy cow. That being said, there's these guys here. BitPiCo vows to fork. Who are these guys? Why? Why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? Obviously, somebody doesn't want to lose all their money on the SegWit2x futures. Hard to say. But everybody who was supporting it has moved away, except for one or two little players who are saying, no, we still want it. We'll see what happens. Even if they do it, then it doesn't matter. No one's supporting it. Blocks will take months to come across, so there you go. Hi, Lark. What do you think about Keith Waring? I think you mentioned before, latest venture into BitConnect. Not good. Have you seen JSNIP4 and Cliff High? Recent YouTube videos on BitConnect, says Peter Pritchard. Peter, don't know. I've been in contact with Keith a few times. Don't know what he's doing with BitConnect. If that's what he wants to roll, man, that's what he wants to roll. A lot of people making a lot of money on BitConnect. That's fine. JSNIP and Cliff High, I've not seen their recent videos on BitConnect. Probably pretty interesting to watch. I like Cliff High. I actually managed to catch one of his videos the other day. Somebody said that he interviewed the CEO from Metal and that it was a total, mess. But so I had to go and check that out because I thought, that doesn't sound right. Marshall Hayner is a pretty smart dude and has got a great project, even though Metal's way down at the moment. So I had to go and check, and it's actually a different company, Metal Zoom, not Metal Pay. So I was actually interviewing a different guy. But Cliff High, he's that dude's keeping it real. That dude's keeping it real for sure. Shapeshift screwed up so bad you won't believe it, says Zyko. Wow. What happened there, man? I went through hell. Things happen, but I can imagine, Zyko, that even if something bad happened with Shapeshift, that you were able to contact customer support and they probably sorted your problem out? Hey, Sal, how's it going, man? Michael, what do you think will be the future of Bitcoin Cash? Well, that's a really good question, actually, about the future of Bitcoin Cash. Now that Bitcoin is chilling, we're not going to have any foreseeable forks, even though BitPico might try and fork the network still, but that won't particularly matter if that does. However, Bitcoin Cash, I think, does have a future. And Bitcoin Cash goes a long way towards solving some of the problems that Bitcoin has. Will Bitcoin Cash be the new Bitcoin? I don't think so. Will Bitcoin Cash remain a very strong, big competitor? Look at it, guys. It's got an $11 billion market cap at the moment. A lot of people support Bitcoin Cash. And there's a lot to like about Bitcoin Cash, guys. Super low transaction fees, big blocks which can handle gigantic transaction sizes. You might even see the situation, which is probably what the Bitcoin Cash guys want, where you see Bitcoin as the store value coin, Bitcoin Cash as the day-to-day transaction coin. Interesting stuff, eh? Bitcoin Cash does have a future. I am almost tempted to get into some Bitcoin Cash mining. I wish that Genesis would bring out some Bitcoin Cash mining, but they haven't. Basically, the only place you can get Bitcoin Cash mining if you want it is over on bitcoin.com. But it'd be well worth it. Psycho, thought I'd take a break from emailing Shapeshift all day. I see. I didn't catch what happened here, man. Let me just have a look. They've returned empty contracts. Well, not yet, says Zyko. Hey, man, I can tell you the one thing, Zyko, that I've had some problems with Shapeshift before where I ended up sending some Bitcoin that I hadn't realized was still pending, and that caused a certain problem, as you can imagine. It took them about a day to get back to me, but they sorted out my problem in the end, so I would assume they'll sort it out for you too, man. I wouldn't worry too much, even though I know it's frustrating when it's happening to you. So, something about Bitcoin Gold? Question mark. Well, Tyler, cheaper crypto. Let's go check out the Bitcoin Gold website real quick. Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold. That's not what we want. We want Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold. Oh! What is this? Can't I type? There we go. Bitcoin Gold said Sunday for cryptocurrency release. Fantastic. Look, Bitcoin Gold, is it going to do anything? That's perhaps the interesting question that I think we all really want to answer, is whether or not Bitcoin Gold can actually have a future in this place. I mean, currently it's up $150, and that's about a quarter of the value of Bitcoin Cash. I just don't really see the place for Bitcoin Gold, honestly. Bitcoin Cash, it solves some problems. I understand the reason for Bitcoin Cash, and we could sit here and have arguments all day about whether or not they were right to do Bitcoin Cash or not, but really Bitcoin Cash solves all the problems that those guys wanted to solve and more. Bitcoin Gold doesn't really solve many problems, in my opinion, and I don't think it's got a giant future, although it will probably stay on the charts for a long time and be traded, and there will be supporters for it. You got to think there will probably be more supporters for Bitcoin Gold than a lot of small altcoins, for example. And at $154 a piece, it's got a pretty damn big market cap at the moment. Now, if that will dump heavily when the network gets up and running, that is a different question. Different question indeed. Crypto numbnuts, everybody should hold Power Ledger. I agree. But not yet. Just wait a few weeks, guys. Wait a few weeks. Let Corey and I buy up some more Power Ledger first before you guys all push the price up. No, I'm just teasing. Power Ledger is fantastic, guys. Power Ledger is a fantastic company. I am super bullish on Power Ledger. I think it's still a really, really great buy at 20 cents. So definitely a really cool project. I just covered them in the weekly news video today. They've done a partnership. This was about a week ago. They actually signed the deal, 10 days ago or something, but with an Indian company, which is trying to bring in, obviously, this kind of system into urban India. Cool, cool stuff. Harry Balsunya asks, have you run across any more accounting platforms besides PayPal, Populous, and Fizzcal? I'm at a loss to find any more, and those three are just poor projects. Nah, I haven't. I haven't run across anything yet, but you keep an eye on it. There's somebody will be coming up with that. Somebody will. You will just, these projects keep coming out. How many token cards do we have right now? How many companies like Power Ledger are coming on at the moment? Somebody said Pylon Network here. We've got Sun Contract. WePower is coming up pretty soon. So there's a lot of stuff going on there that is going to keep bringing competition into the space. And look, this is the thing with the crypto space, guys. There are a lot of really, really cool projects here on the list, but they're not all going to survive. Some of these just aren't going to be able to deliver. Some of them are going to be able to deliver, but then get destroyed. You got to keep that in mind. Some of them will be winners, some of them will be losers. I'm very bullish on Power Ledger, though. I think they've really got a fantastic team and are getting really, really good partnerships and moving forward in a very positive way. So I think they'll be one of the winners in the space. But you never know. You never know. It's a crazy, crazy game out there. Dude with a Japanese name. I've seen you post on quite a few of my posts, man. Sorry, I don't know. I cannot read Japanese. I would say your name, but Cardano revives. What's the attention in America for Cardano? In Spain, it seems that you can have a hotel that you can pay with. Wow, you can pay with ADA for a hotel. That's great. Ginebra, Barcelona, you can pay with ADA. I don't know if I'd pay with ADA, to be honest. I'd like to hold that until it gets up way, way more than it is right now. Wow. Holy cow. But that's interesting. Look, you see all kinds of different enthusiasts for different crypto projects all around the space. The real thing is going to be the payment gateways, things like Omisego, things like MetalPay, that are going to let people use cryptos to pay, or use fiat to crypto, or have fiat to fiat payments via crypto, for example. And of course, projects like Bitcoins, up to $1.03. Gotta get some Bitcoins. Like the 10,000 Bitcoin pizza. Oh my god. Oh. Derek Cole asks, do you think Bitcoin and Litecoin can work together for transactions like Charlie Lee's vision? It already has SegWit and Lightning. Yes, this is the thing. You can't count Litecoin out, guys. Look, to a large extent, Bitcoin Cash is a problem for Litecoin more than for Bitcoin. But there's space for all of them, especially when we get multi-coin wallets, atomic swaps, things that are very easy to exchange back and forth between each other. That will become a very easy process then. So interesting to see how that will turn out. Now, I did want to get on and mention as well a little bit about Electroneum. We were talking about this a little bit the other night, why Electroneum still has such a high market cap. Now, where is the old Electroneum at now? It's currently at number 35 here on the old coin market cap. It's gone down to about just a little under 4 cents. Now, apparently a lot of people are not able to access their Electroneum yet. They're stuck in their wallets. There was apparently a cyber attack on Electroneum. But I like this article, though. Hampered by cyber attack, Electroneum is hit by snark. Which is fantastic. Electroneum posts, big thanks for the surprise coffee. John says, well, good spending of $40 million. Another person says, actually, it was a gift. Why don't you post some pictures of you sipping pina coladas on a beach somewhere after running off with everyone's money? It's just funny, of course. It's just funny, of course. It is really, really hard to be a crypto project which is then hacked or has any of these problems. It can just absolutely tank you in a terrible way. Of course, Electroneum is down 50% currently. Probably will go a bit lower before that happens. And if people don't start using it, it might go down significantly more. Because as mentioned in the video that I did, Electroneum doesn't actually solve very many problems. Although it is a nice crypto note privacy coin. And privacy coins do remain quite popular. Lark, what is your view on Metronome? Says Disco Dan. Disco Dan, I wonder if Metronome's still going to go forward after the SegWit2x cancellation. Be interesting to see. Don't know. I haven't looked into it enough to give you a good comment on Metronome, but it'll be interesting to see if they actually pull that off, or if Jeff Garzik just goes wherever he hangs out at and forgets about it. What do you think will happen with Veritcoin coming up to its halving in December? Oh, interesting. I didn't realize Veritcoin was having a halving coming up in December. So that, for those of you who don't know what a halving is when the block reward goes in half. So I'm not exactly sure what the current block reward for Veritcoin is, but let's say it's 50 right now and it will go down to 25, for example. Veritcoin's going to go up, guys. That's what's going to go on. Julio in the house. Nice interview with Decred the other day. Thanks, Julio, man. That was fun. I liked talking to Luke. He was a cool guy. The inflation rate for Veritcoin is going to go down substantially. Substantially, guys. Veritcoin has a long way up. Holy cow. Holy cow, guys. A lot of people are saying it will be Veritcoin-like in price. I would tend to agree with them on that. It might take a little while to get there, but Veritcoin has got a lot of potential. It is, can we call it the green Litecoin? No, Veritcoin is Veritcoin, Litecoin is Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin Cash. Of course, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. They all do their own things. They all solve their own problems in their own ways, but Veritcoin definitely has a lot of room to grow. Julio in the house confirms. Yes, 50 down to 25 on 12/12. There you go. Nice. Veritcoin unpack, says Rick. Veritcoin's a good coin, guys. Peter says, I hear very little about Coin in the YouTube community. This is such a great project with a big community and massive potential. Interesting. I need to talk about Coin one of these days. It's on the list. It's just a matter of not having the time to get to it, Peter. But Coin's a good project. I mean, there's a lot of competitors directly in that space. That is perhaps one reason why Coin hasn't popped in the way a lot of people might like it to, but it's a good project. It's one of the more solid in the cloud storage space. Matt Can Fly asks, Lark, did you make a video on Aphelion? I have not made a video on Aphelion. I wonder if they've updated their website. Last time I was looking at it, they were at a pretty rough looking website for a company that wanted to raise stupid amounts of money. Well, they've made it look a little better. The question to ask about Aphelion is, with the coming of the Neo exchange, which is being developed by the guys over at City of Zion, how much calling will there be for Aphelion? I don't know. Don't know. Oh, thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Aphelion. So, interesting. There's a lot of FUD on their Reddit about what Aphelion is, and their authenticity and things like that, but nice to see they've updated the website a bit here. Haven't looked into it enough, though, to give you a really good comment on that. I just worry that they'll have trouble against the Neo exchange, which has the full support of Neo, whereas Neo has been very careful not to give their support to Aphelion. Not to say it's going to be a bad project or it's a scam or any of that stuff. It just makes me think. Lark, any opinions on Neo right now? Same opinion I've always got on Neo, I suppose, which is that Neo's fantastic and has massive upside potential. Hasn't even got close to its total value yet. $2 billion market cap is fantastic for Neo. Really, really good stuff. I mean, it's such a crazy ride with Neo. You know, I remember I bought Neo back when it was like $7, and I bought more going up a bit, but still up massively on it, but still so far to go. A $31 Neo is pretty damn cheap at the moment. Honestly, Neo is one of those coins that will be $200, $300, $400. It will be an Ethereum level of dollar value for sure. Not by the end of the year. Sometime next year, I think we'll see a lot of the value come through on Neo. More and more stuff is happening with Neo all the time. By the way, did you guys see this thing that Neo's doing? Neo is paying back the investors from the ICO. Holy cow. It's me, Boss Lady, says lots going on in the chat today. There is lots going on in the chat today. I love it, guys. I love it. That's so cool, as always, see everyone just chatting and exchanging information and talking to everybody. So that was really cool. Crypto Mike, hey dude, you're back. Did you get some hash power on Genesis mining? I haven't had a chance yet. You know, I've been trying all morning to get some hash power on Genesis mining, but I keep not being able to get through. So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What do you guys think about the Raiden network token? By the way, this is a pretty interesting one. The market cap's out, $88 million market cap, 50 million Raiden in circulation. Do you think that Raiden network deserves to have this kind of value? Were they right having an ICO anyway? I think for the people who invested in the ICO, if I remember right, and I could be mistaken, but I think it was a $30 million cap for the ICO. Mining with I'm Red Ryan. Genesis mining is working out. Okay, guys, we gotta stop the live streams. I gotta get some Bitcoin mining hash power. No, I'm just teasing. I'll go grab some after, but that's great. Genesis mining got flooded earlier. Fast, cheap, scalable token transfers on Ethereum. Was this necessary? I don't know. I really don't. But there it is anyway. The Raiden website's crashing the live stream, so we're going to get out of there. But holy cow. Holy cow. It's amazing that some of these crypto projects can come in and do this. A lot of people, when Raiden came out and said they were doing an ICO, just said, guys, this is just a blatant cash grab. What are you doing? To an extent, it was a cash grab. I guess why not? Everyone's benefiting. The ICO investors are benefiting. They've like tripled their money now. And of course, Raiden got a whole giant pile of money as well. So there you go. Okay. The crazy thing about this week, though, honestly, guys, altcoin crazy town. That may be the biggest story of all the weekend, in spite of everything else we talked about, which is also very interesting too. Wow. Just wow. The amount of green in the market, the amount of coins that are going back up. It was really tough before the fork. Not being, not holding coins or anything, but just tough looking at the valuations of some of these projects, which I know are so cool. Some of these projects have such great potential, and seeing them just going for like nothing or being pushed down, and things like IOTA, which were like 34 cents the other day. Of course, amazing buyer's market, by the way, last week, 2 or 3 days ago before they canceled SegWit 2X. And still a pretty good buyer's market too. To be honest, there's a lot of these projects which haven't seen all their value come back yet. Remember, the total value of the overall market right now is just absolutely through the roof, guys. Absolutely through the roof. So this is the thing, is that if you think about where we are right now with the market cap on all cryptocurrencies, it's only going up. Remember, more and more and more and more money is coming in all the time. I know we've talked about these stories, but 100,000 users signed up on last Saturday to Coinbase, just Coinbase. Think about all of the others. Holy cow. There's definitely a lot of money coming in, definitely a lot of potential for a lot of projects here. Things like Cardano. Yeah, Cardano's up to 0.032 cents. Massive upward potential. They haven't even hit $1 billion market cap yet. Massive potential moving forward. Omise Go back under $1 billion. It was about 1.3, 1.4 billion before. Haven't even brought out any other projects yet. Still massive undervalued. We're only looking at the top stuff here. If you go way farther down the list and we jump past all of these great projects like EOS and Stratus and Arc and Komodo, Decred, Veritcoin, PIVX, Salt, Golem, Factum, Walton Coin, Kyber Network, we're just going to avoid everything here above $100 million market cap. And we go down here and we start looking around and go, wow, there's some great stuff down here. Bitcoins, holy cow, super undervalued. Even though it's a big, big buyer's market right now. Sorry, a big seller's market right now. People are obviously making a lot of money. It's, hard to buy on green days, but look at Bitcoins. I would buy truckloads of Bitcoins at $1. Holy cow. Power Ledger, 20 cents. Truckloads of Power Ledger. And even though the values come up a lot on some of these projects, they still have massive upsides on them. Topher Dowling, beware of the scam Omisego airdrop email. Yes, be aware of all kinds of scamming going on in the crypto space, guys. Huge, huge amounts of scamming in the crypto space. Nexus down at $1.14, still an amazing, amazing buy at that price. Navcoin has been stubbornly under $1 for quite a while, but still a really, really great project moving forward. Long Stock Silver asks about our good friend down here, Sonam. He says, Lark, when is Sonam going to be the top 100? Long Stock Silver, it can chill down there for a little bit longer. Got to go buy some more first. No, just teasing, guys. Look, Sonam, when it catches on, is going to go off like wildfire. It will be a $300 or $400 million market cap within the next 6 or 7 months, I would say. Definitely one to keep an eye on. Still super undervalued, Sonam. And you can go farther down the list, guys. And I try not to go too far down the list when I look at coins that I want to get in on. I do want to try and review Viacoin pretty soon. Where's the old Skycoin hiding at? Skycoin's hiding around here somewhere. I think we review Skycoin next week as well. EverX is finally starting to get some forward action, which is great. We talked about EverX a few weeks ago in a coin review video. They're doing really well at the moment, so that's really nice to see. Most of the coins, though, have moved reasonable amounts. And when I say reasonable, what I mean is that we haven't seen a lot of, 100% plus growth. Something like B3 coin, it kind of came out of nowhere, and it's already going back down quite a bit. For the more established projects, we haven't seen super growth on quite a few of them. We've seen some newcomers come into the top 100 space, but for all of our great crypto projects, Chainlink and things like this, what we've seen is actually them kind of just recover their value. A lot of people were getting out of their favorite altcoins, jumping into Bitcoin. The fork didn't happen. They jumped out of Bitcoin and are getting back into their favorite altcoins. So a lot of people making a lot of money this week, which is fantastic. All about people making some sweet money, of course. Bonne nuit from Bordeaux. Why is there still no decent decentralized exchange at the moment? That is a great question. The decentralized exchanges are coming, guys, and there's a lot of decentralized exchanges coming. Keep an eye out for them. Obviously, we've got a lot of different players playing in that space right now. IDO's got the mobile app for ERC-20 and Ethereum-based tokens. ERC-20 tokens are Ethereum based, but for Ethereum based tokens, and I do, the Agama wallet is up and running. Barter Dex over on Komodo is atomic swaps between Bitcoin Core based cryptocurrencies. That helps the decentralized exchange process, but I think June next year, decentralized exchanges will kind of be the norm. Look, decentralized exchanges, we already have them to an extent. BitShares is a decentralized exchange. EtherDelta is a decentralized exchange. DistrictOX, decentralized exchange. The thing is that they're just not being used a lot yet. You know, I use EtherDelta sometimes. It's okay, right? I don't use BitShares. I just don't like it. I wish I did. Wish they'd update it, make it more user-friendly, but it's not. DistrictOX, I haven't used them. That being said, the DEX revolution is absolutely on the way. The Neo exchange will be decentralized when it comes. Aphelion will be a decentralized exchange. Robinhood's going to be decentralized. Even Binance is planning on decentralizing sometime next year. So it is coming, guys. I like IDO. They have a desktop coming out soon. Seems really user-friendly. Why did I go back to that question just back there? What is a trusted way to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum? I can't get Coinbase to add my credit card, and I've called Coinbase help 3 times. They have so many new accounts, they're having a hard time, says Sal. Sal, there's a lot of different exchange options out there. One that I use is cex.io. Now, if you're going to go and just buy with them, straight from them, it's a pretty big markup on the fee. But if you deposit cash and then move it over, they're okay. Bitfinex is closed to American citizens now. Definitely a lot more exchanges. I don't know. Those are the ones that I use. So, what? Everybody, pop some comments in the comment section here for Sal. What are some other good exchanges to use outside of Coinbase if you're based in the U.S.? Because I know that some don't work with U.S. citizens. So if you're based in the U.S., what is a good one for buying Bitcoin or Ethereum using your U.S. dollars? Okay. It's tricky. It's tricky getting your first Bitcoin sometimes. Or not. I know it's not your first Bitcoin, Sal, but it's just tricky getting Bitcoin sometimes anyway. Try Kraken, Crypto Jim, CoinMama. CoinMama is good. It's easy. Fees are a bit too high, but they're easy to get in, especially if you're buying with a credit card. Check out Gemini, says James. Bittrex and GDEX. On Bittrex, can you, I've never tried it, I guess, but can you upload US dollars on Bittrex? Haven't tried before. I've got 300 pounds. What's the best cryptocurrency to take into 2018, says Jonathan B. Jonathan B, I can't tell you a best cryptocurrency, but there's definitely a lot of good ones. We've talked about all of them on here. Look, some of my personal favorites that I'm actively buying, projects like NEM, Cardano, Bitquence, Sonum, and Power Ledger are the current buy list at the moment. So that's something to keep in mind if you're looking for some coins to look at. But there are so many fantastic buys on this on the top 100 list. It's crazy. IOTA's undervalued, Neo's undervalued, and on and on and on and on and on. You're spoiled for choice. The problem is to make your choices. Lark, what the hell is Vibe? It popped up on Bittrex and now it's been minus 100% for 2 days. Vibe is, I haven't looked into it very much, but it's like a social, was it music program? Let's just go look. I'll remind myself what the heck Vibe is. Vibrate. I assume this is what you're talking about. Let's have a quick look. I looked at their website a few weeks ago, but It's hard to remember sometimes, guys. Here we go. Smarter way to explore live music. Hundreds of thousands of profiles, musicians, venues, social media. There you go. I think I saw, for example, was it Charlie Shrem? He's backing this project as well, over on Twitter anyway. So there you go. That is that one. Interesting stuff. Okay. Once more people learn what IOTA is, it's going to be a game over. It's good. IOTA's good, guys. And IOTA was down for a long, long time. Remember, IOTA was $1 plus not that long ago. 6-7 weeks ago. It was over $1. Maybe it was a little longer ago. But it was doing really well. And then the news got a bit slower. Other things come in. The crypto space has attention deficit disorder on like some serious level. You know, we're just jumping from coin to coin. Ooh, that's the exciting. Ooh, that's the exciting. Ooh, that's the exciting. Oh, how about this one over here? We're a bit crazy when it gets like that, guys. But that being said, IOTA, big upside potential. Does Hydrominer lock terahashes or grade during contract? Kevin, from what I remember with the Hydrominer setup is that you're buying the power. Let's go a quick look at the website. Your tokens entitle you to a certain amount of power generation. And yes, they will be updating their hardware as they go. But the idea with Hydrominer is that you're not buying terahash power necessarily, although difficulty is a factor in the equipment that they have. Obviously, they'll have equipment. It'll sit there. And, you know, they'll update as they go. Sure, that's in their plan, actually, to be continually updating their equipment to stay relevant. But, you know, it's not based on terahash. You're actually buying the energy generation and then paying that to get your coins back. Tom Roy, is there any place where I can see new and upcoming ICOs? There's a lot of different ICO websites. One I look at is ICO Alert. You can check there. Holy Eventus, the Lark pump is real. No, it has nothing to do with me, guys. Just a dude with a little channel talking about cryptocurrencies, but holy cow, look at Eventus. It is up indeed. That's good. I'm glad to see Eventus moving up because they've got a great project, honestly. Eventus is really cool, and they seem to be well ahead of the other projects in the space. Great. I'm happy Eventus is doing well. They're a cool, cool project. And a pretty undervalued one, too. $18 million, 6 million coins, $3 a coin. Not bad at all. Raphael Wood, Lark, should we measure the value of an altcoin based on Satoshis or on dollar value? Well, great question. I'm glad you asked, actually. Let's look at Litecoin. It provides a pretty good example of this. Now look, it really, really depends on what you want to get out of it, Raphael. Some people only see altcoins as a way to get more Bitcoin. If that is your aim, to get as much Bitcoin as possible, which is a good aim, then you need to be looking at the Satoshi value. Now, look, most of these coins do need to be bought with Bitcoin. So if I want to buy Litecoin, for example, it's one of the exceptions, actually. You can come in and buy it with Litecoin. Or sorry, you can come in and buy your Litecoin with dollars or with Bitcoin, right? And that makes it a bit trickier when you actually think, okay, what's the value I want to get out of this? If you're looking at dollar values, so imagine you want to buy some Litecoin and you're using dollars. Well, then you should be tracking the dollar value, and the Satoshi value is not actually very important for you. Litecoin is one of the coins that you can actually just buy straight up with dollars from a lot of websites. Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin. That being said about Litecoin, there's a lot of other coins that are not quite the same. let's take, for example, Omisego. Omisego, as far as I know, no one is straight up selling Omisego for dollars. So you have to actually get Bitcoin first. Now, the equation comes in here, and it's quite problematic for a lot of people, is that because Bitcoin's moving up so fast, sometimes it's literally just better to hold the Bitcoin. And you'll see, for example, even though the price of Omisego hasn't gone down too massively, to be fair, the dollar values stayed a bit higher as a result of the growth of Bitcoin. So what you might see over time actually is that the Bitcoin value might go down even though the dollar value goes up. So if you just took your Bitcoin, bought your Bitcoin, went over, bought Omisego straight away, and your concerns the value by dollar then, well, that's the important thing to watch. Look, I keep track of both to an extent. I'm more worried about the dollar value for a lot of these because I just took the Bitcoin, bought the altcoin, and that's what I kind of look at usually. But there's definitely a lot of people who will only look at Satoshi value. I find dollar value easy for reference, especially for most people, especially when we're talking about, you know, these different projects here on the live stream. It's easy to wrap your head around the dollar value, but do keep an eye on the Satoshi value if you're only looking at your altcoins as a way to stack up more Bitcoin. Over time, though, Bitcoin does outperform a lot of altcoins. Not all of them by any means. There's a lot of altcoins that perform fantastically, but you got to keep that in mind. You might get really good returns on your dollar value, but not actually on your Bitcoin value for some of these altcoins. The choice is yours. Mr. Harry Balsonia says, I am a Satoshi guy. There you go. There you go. Raul Arana, Lark, I can't download the complete chain of Komodo in the Komodo GUI wallet. Yeah, the Komodo wallet's a pain in the butt. But for example, I downloaded the Agama wallet. I had to uninstall it and reinstall it, and now I can download the complete chain. They've got a really good FAQ section. Go check it out. It will answer most of your questions. If not, get in touch with the team. They're pretty responsive. Nice. Rex says, Lark, I got my Nano Ledger S. 90s Brickstone cell phone. Today. Nice. Good stuff. Angelini, we were talking a little bit about Komodo earlier, so jump back in the stream and you can check that out there. I think I lost my Komodos. You'll probably be okay. You'll probably be okay, man. If you got your wallet database, you probably haven't lost your Komodos. So the wallets are not the best right now. Let's keep it real on that. I'd like to see their wallets be much better than they are over at Komodo, but I think your Komodos should be okay. Unless you sent them to the wrong place. But if you sent them to your wallet address, they'll be there and they'll be able to help you get back on that. So go reach out to the team over at their help section. Bree B, Binance, can't log in, no slide bar. Anyone else? Let me tell you. Cardano is going to be great. Mark G, beware of fake Trezors and nano ledgers. Yeah, beware of fake everythings, guys. Crypto space crazy. There's so much scamming going on. Oh, I got my slide. You might want to check actually going and maybe trying to log in from another browser or clearing your cookies for Binance, for example. That might help, just as a recommendation. But it's going over on my side, so rock and roll. Cardano price prediction, says Dustin Smith. Cardano is a moon zone kind of coin. I honestly see Cardano being valued very similar levels to Ethereum within the next 2 years, I would say. So that's pretty good return on your money in my mind. So definitely a good one. In 6 months, though, asks Dustin. Hard to say. I can honestly, guys, predictions in the crypto space are so crazy because I can throw out any number for you, any number. Might be wrong, might be right. Especially that far out, it's so hard to say. You just never know what will happen. I know one thing for certain is that the crypto market is growing at an exponential rate. The whole market was only about $100 billion 2 or 3 months ago, and it's almost doubled in size now. So big things on the way for the whole crypto space. There will be winners, there will be losers, guys. That's the name of the game. I think Cardano's going to be a winner. That's why I'm buying it. That's why I like it. But you just never know what's going to happen. And throwing out a price number, maybe they won't get their won't hit their deadlines, or there will be problems with their proof of stake system or something like this. So who the heck knows? But I think that it'll be doing really good in 6 months' time. Crypto, the whole market was 40 billion in February. There you go, 5x growth on the whole market. Raul, Lark, can you explain the Hydrominer token? Raul, the Hydrominer token, you buy the token and you can exchange that token in February when they get their farms up and running for Bitcoin or altcoin mining power, basically. And that power is based on wattage, so not terahashes. So you're buying a consistent amount of energy, not a number of terahash. So it's a good system. I like their model, and I'm glad that I participated in the ICO. So good stuff to keep an eye out for. I do like Hydrominer, and especially considering how rare some mining contracts are becoming. I think it'll be a pretty good one to get involved in. Anna Bully asks, how many coins will there be in 5 years? Thousands. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands, Anna. Okay, last question goes to Crypto Mike for today. Lark, where do you hold altcoins? Looking for a wallet other than Exodus? Well, fantastic question, Crypto Mike, and it's very problematic actually right now. There are some wallets where you can hold a lot of coins. That being said, no wallet holds every coin yet, and it's a real problem in the crypto space. In fact, no wallet even holds most coins. That's why Bitcoins is going to be so exciting when they come out. They're trying to create a universal currency wallet. Keep an eye out, seriously, guys, for Bitcoins when it comes out. From what I've heard, we're going to be seeing something late November, early December for them. That's just, rumors on my side from talking to people related to the project, but I really think that Bitcoins is going to take off if they deliver that kind of project that they say they're going to deliver. So not only is it going to be, fiat, you can use your fiat to buy crypto, easy crypto investment into different portfolios, but also the wallet. The wallet will be big. So keep an eye out for it, guys. Anyway, thank you so much to everybody who jumped into the live stream today. It has been absolutely awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Helping out each other out in the chat has been so cool. I've seen all those conversations going on there. I'm sorry I can't respond to all the questions out there, but some really great questions have been asked today, guys, so that is totally awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Long live the blockchain. I love the crypto community. You guys are awesome, by the way. And peace out till next time.